Good morning, Kingdom Academy. It is another morning, and it is July 28th, and I got a lot of things to chat about today. Some research that I was doing on artificial intelligence, and I was reading some reports about humanoid robots being produced and how there's one company that is currently producing 11,000 humanoid robots this year. And they were talking about how within the next couple of years, maybe next year or the following year, there'll be up to 1 million humanoid robots a year. Now, that's the second company that I actually heard say would be doing that. There will be multiple companies producing about 1 million robots a year, humanoid robots, in the next couple of years. And as I was thinking about that, I was wondering, how will that shape our views? Or more specifically, how will AI shape our views on reality? Or as these robots are being implemented into our society, into jobs, and we start seeing them everywhere, how will this change our culture? Which reminded me, that's why these teachings from Jesus are so important today. As artificial intelligence grows into every crack of our society, human intelligence, human emotional intelligence is going to become the most valuable quality in the future. Did you catch that? The most valuable quality in the future. So with that, let's dive in. Let's begin with Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 24. If you have your Bibles, I'm going to have you read this along with me here. Get some coffee too. So Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 24, it says this: "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, or where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. The lamp of the body is the eye, and therefore your eye is good. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? You cannot serve two masters, for either you will hate the one and love the other, or else you will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon." Now, as we read this, there's something buried in the middle of that text that so often gets passed over or misunderstood. Now, at the beginning, verse 19, "Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven." Okay, we get that. That's fine. Verse 24 then ends with, "You cannot serve both God and money." Okay, yeah, I get that too. But right in the middle, between these two verses, Jesus makes this strange statement about the eyes. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, it sounds like Jesus took a break from talking about money to talk about giving us an eye exam. I mean, what does eyesight have to do with treasure and serving God? Now, what most people don't understand or even see this is that this is what's called a Jewish idiom. And Jesus was Jewish. He was teaching to a Jewish audience in the first century Israel. And in Hebrew, there are hundreds of common idioms that are used throughout the text. I mean, we have idioms in our own language, like "it's raining cats and dogs." Very common idiom. In the biblical text, in Hebrew, there are lots and lots of these sayings. And the idiom for a good eye, ayin tova, means a generous person. A bad eye, or in other texts, you might see an evil eye, ayin ra'ah, meant somebody who's stingy, miserly, somebody that holds on to their money. I mean, it reminds me of the Donald Duck cartoons with the old miserly Christmas character. I can't remember his name now. But this isn't Jesus making a metaphor on the spot. This is a metaphor, this is an idiom that everyone in that time frame understood, because it's all throughout the Torah. You can go to Deuteronomy chapter 15, Proverbs 22, Proverbs 28. There's so many places where we see this idiom just in the text, let alone within that own culture, they would have used it all the time. So when the original hearers of this sermon that Jesus is giving to this crowd, this people, if your eye is good, if your eye is bad, they weren't thinking about vision. They were thinking about money. They were thinking about generosity versus greed. I mean, read it again with that in mind. Let's read this and put those words in. If you are generous, your whole body will be full of light. If you are stingy, your whole body will be full of darkness. Now the passage starts to make sense. That's why the very next verse is, you cannot serve God and money. The eye isn't a random illustration. It's the hinge. It's the pivot point. Your posture toward possessions or generous or grasping. It just doesn't affect your bank account. Jesus says it affects your whole self. It's either full of light or it's full of darkness. There's no small contained corner where your relationship to money stays neutral. So here's the question that I have. Why would being stingy, having a bad eye, why would that darken your whole body? Why does that one issue reach into everything? I think it's because a bad eye is rooted in a lie. And the lie is, this is mine. It's mine. Yet, in Psalm 24, just verse 1, it says this: the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and those who live in it. Everything. Your paycheck, your house, your savings account, your time. It was never actually yours to begin with. You're not the owner. You're a steward. You're holding something that belongs to someone else. A good eye, a generous eye, is simply telling the truth. It says, I know this isn't mine, so I hold it open-handed. A bad eye is living a lie every day, grasping something that you never owned in the first place, protecting it and protecting it as a possession that was only mine, but it was just something that was on loan to you, that was being shared with you, that you are to protect. That's why it darkens the whole body, because it's not a small dishonesty. It's a foundational one. It shapes how I see everything and everyone else around me. Now here's where it stops being just personal and starts being about all of us together. Proverbs 11 verses 24 and 25 says this: one gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want. Whoever brings blessing will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. Now, this isn't a formula, which I've heard pastors talk about. It's not saying if you give $100 in the tithe bucket, you'll get $200 back in your bank account somewhere. That's not it. What it's describing is how trust actually works in community. Think about this. Think about a group of people where everyone in that group, in that community, holds things with a closed fist. Everyone's guarding, protecting, calculating. This is mine. That's yours. What do I owe you? What do you owe me? That community runs on suspicion. And frankly, it's exhausting and it's fragile. Now think about a community where people hold things open-handed, where generosity is normal. That community runs on trust. People aren't afraid to ask for help because they've seen help freely given. People aren't afraid to be honest about need because need isn't shamed here, it's met. Generosity isn't just a private virtue between you and God. No. It's what makes a community actually livable. It's the thing that turns a room full of individuals into a body that can trust each other. They became one. But here's the real obstacle. And I think this is what's underneath the bad eye more than anything else. It's fear. Specifically, the fear that there won't be enough. You see, most people live with what is called a scarcity mindset. The assumption that resources are fixed, that the pie is only so big, and if I give you a bigger piece, that means I get a smaller piece. If I give this away, I have less, and less is dangerous. So I have to grip it even tighter. I have to calculate. I have to protect. Now, I want you to think about another story in the book of Exodus. The Israelites were wandering in the desert, and what did God give them? He gave them manna. And how much manna did he give them? Just enough for the day. No more, no less. And people who tried to hoard it and keep it overnight, it rotted the next day. Why? Because God was training an entire generation out of scarcity, out of a scarcity mindset. He was teaching them, I am not a fixed pie. I am a provider. You do not need to grip onto this and hold on to it. You need to trust me. A good eye, a generous eye, isn't naive about resources. It's actually more accurate than a scarcity mindset because it's rooted in who God is, not just what's in your bank account. You see, breaking the scarcity mindset and the scarcity thinking doesn't mean pretending like you have unlimited money. That's not what this is saying. It means that you just trust God, the God of Psalm 24, the one who already owns everything. You trust him enough to open your hand instead of closing a fist. So here's what I want to leave you with. The real question Jesus is asking in this passage is not, how much are you giving? How much are you tithing? It's much, much simpler than that. And it goes even deeper than that. The question is, what does your eye see? Does your eye see scarcity, or does it see a provider? Does it see possessions that you own or resources you've been entrusted with? Do you see a community to guard yourself against, or a community you get to help build trust in? One open hand at a time. A good eye brings light to the whole body, not just to your finances, but to everything. And when a whole room full of people start seeing with a good eye, you don't just get generous individuals. You get a community that actually trusts each other. That's the kind of light this world is starving for today and will be in the future. So think about that. Think about this idiom. Is your eye good? With that, this is Matt signing off. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he shine his face upon you, and may he give you peace. Have a great week, everyone.